Hey guys, so we just saw, I'm here, of course, you know me, Welshie XP. I'm with my good friend SpicyWolf here.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Yeah, we just saw Mortal Kombat 2. So we just got out of the theater. We're just recording from my phone, so apologies if the audio is not what you're used to, and we're just standing outside, so you can probably hear the traffic going by. So we're just going to give our thoughts. We'll start with non-spoilers, and then we'll get into spoilers. So then anyone who's interested can click off. All right, so let's go. So what did you think?
Honestly, I thought it was really good. I went in with low expectations, and I gotta be honest, I was thoroughly impressed. Like, it generally shocked me how good it was. Now, obviously, I'd never seen the first one, but as you said when we was in there, you said, "Oh, it doesn't matter about the first one so much,"
Yeah.
because it relied on too many pop culture references.
Well, that was something that annoyed me personally. Like, Kano was a highlight of the first one because he's very charismatic, but a lot of his jokes were just like Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, like pop culture references, and I'm like, oh, great, that's very creative humor, I get it.
Yeah.
Thankfully, there wasn't nearly as many this time around.
No, I mean, humour's one thing, but when you try to really force yourself with the humour, it's not really funny. It's just childish, really.
Yeah, that's why I think the actors just having more charisma and better chemistry is what makes it work. And I think I noticed that here. Like, I thought a lot of the actors were very wooden in the first movie. Like, Raiden was a massive improvement in this one. I thought he was kind of a dick in the first movie, but he looked the part. Like, he got the actual blue and white outfit, and so that was an improvement. Sonya, I think, had a lot more energy than the first movie. Jax was about the same, but I don't think he was in the movie as much this time around. And what I find hilarious, and actually no, I'll say that for spoiler. That's a spoiler. Of course, everyone's favorite OC, Cole Young, is back. He looks completely unchanged, and his basically, for those who don't know, Cole Young was the protagonist of the first movie, completely original character, not in the games whatsoever, and he's like a fighter. I don't know if he's an MMA fighter or something, but his arc is that he can't take hits basically, and so his power is that he literally has armor, and that's how he takes hits. I get what they were going for, but everyone dubs it's literal plot armor, and like, yep, can't deny it. It's literal plot armor, and it looks very lame as well. But yeah, so he's here. So in terms of character, so I guess I will spoil the first movie though. So characters, in terms of characters who died in the last movie, Sub-Zero, Bihan, he's back as Noob Saibot, just like he is in the games. Scorpion also back, of course. Melina was in the first one, but so it seems like they're not doing the whole Melina and Kitana are sisters or clones. That Melina is just a henchwoman, because like the actors look nothing alike each other. Cabal, I believe, was in the previous movie, and I think he died. I honestly don't even remember how. And of course, Reiko and Nitara were just fodder in that movie. And I think that was everyone. Yeah. Oh, Kung Lao died, but of course we know he came back as a revenant. And in terms of new characters, we have Jade, Quan Chi, Shao Kahn, of course, Kitana, as I've probably already mentioned, and of course Johnny Cage, played by Carl Urban, of many films, but I guess recently The Boys, which I've been watching. But so I was worried he would be miscast, but I think he actually did well.
Yeah, I would definitely go as far as to say he was definitely one of my favourites of the movie. And as I said before, I went in this film with low expectations, had not seen the first one. But honestly, if you know the games well enough, if you played them, you'll get the references and you understand the plot of what's going on, and obviously understand the characters. And I would honestly say that this film is probably one of the better video game licensed movies that's come out, and I would definitely go as far as to say it might even be contender for one of the best films of this year thus far.
It's the first movie I've seen this year, so we're nearly 6 months in, and I've finally gone to the theater. But I thought the fights were well done. Some of them were a bit short, and But I think they were very well choreographed, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I definitely say they would. I mean, you can obviously tell when they do use CGI, and obviously every now and again, like Radiant's lightning.
Yeah, that stuck out like a sore thumb.
It will stick out, but when they're not relying so much on that and they're relying more on the practical stuff, and when they come to the choreographing, it's really well done. And I would say fighting's top notch, and you really get the sense of like what they're going to do next. And obviously, if you've played the games, you will see a lot of familiarizing with like certain finishers and all that stuff, which is not a spoiler, because those who know Mortal Kombat, you know that finishers is like one of the biggest things of the franchise. And
very violently
and of course you can't just do that without CGI. That's obviously a must.
Yeah, some things are inevitably CGI, like Baraka, I forgot to mention him. Like, the man has massive teeth. Doing that practically, they did do it for Annihilation, but that's one of the worst films ever made, and it looks hideous. So it's kind of forgiven. Well, I mean, it's inevitable, basically. Like, I think that's the only way they can make it work. But what else can we say? So plot-wise, basically, it takes place after the first one, even though the first one came out 2021, 5 years, like, and yeah, it takes place pretty close, I think. I didn't watch it recently. I only watched it when it was new, and but like I remembered most of the important stuff. So you really don't need to watch the first movie to know what's happening. All you need to know is there's a tournament, like Earthrealm against Outworld, Shao Kahn, Evil. Like, they pretty much established most of that anyway. So, because the first movie was more building towards the tournament, but we didn't see Shao Kahn in the. I don't even remember if he was mentioned. He probably was, but in this movie we see him. He has his hammer, has his iconic helmet. Although no taunting. He didn't say "you suck" or anything like that. Although he did say "weak." He did call people weak.
Yeah, that was. Something that surprised me, because he does like to taunt his opponents before he kills them.
Yeah. But overall, I guess it's hard to really. I mean, what can we say without that? Don't need to be spoilers. Like, I'd say a lot of the fights were really well done. Like, the trailers didn't do it justice. They made the acting look very questionable, and not to say there were some, but I think in the final product it looks a lot better. Some of the effects, again, do look pretty bad. I think the set design is good. Like, the Outworld area where they fought, that looked pretty good.
Yeah.
The throne room looked actually genuinely really good with the dark red lights, and like that was actually really good set. And Raiden's Sky Temple looked really good. Netherrealm looked really good. It genuinely looked like hell. I think I'd say it looked better than the 90s movie, honestly.
Yeah, I'd actually agree on that. When it comes to those parts of the film, the effects do a really good job, and they've obviously spent their budget a lot on those specific parts of the film.
Yeah, because I think the budget's like $50 million, I think. I'd have to really do research into how it works. I don't know how much of a marketing campaign they got. Most of the actors, I imagine, are pretty cheap. So, yeah, I guess most of it was on sets, effects, and other stuff, really. So... But I think I can forgive some wonky CGI every now and then. Not every CGI element looked bad, and I'm sure there were parts that didn't look CGI that probably were. So I'm just talking about the parts I did notice.
Yeah, I mean, put it this way, I don't think any bad CGI would ever be as bad as The Flash.
Someone had to bring it up.
I mean, that's a movie, believe it or not, that I actually enjoyed. I actually enjoyed The Flash.
I didn't.
Well, obviously, Welshie here didn't enjoy the film so much, but obviously we are big DC Marvel fans. Not to go off topic too much, but we are big fans of those characters. We love The Flash, Batman, all that stuff.
MK versus DC, that's on topic.
Yeah. So speaking of, as someone who actually did enjoy The Flash, even I can't deny there was a lot of times that the CGI was quite bad, and then they come out and say, "Oh, it was done on purpose." Well, that's one of the dumbest excuses. You can't say that was done on purpose. I mean,
alright, then your movie sucks, in my opinion, on purpose.
Yeah, but anyways, regarding of CGI, if someone who watches The Flash can get through that, regardless of how bad the CGI is, I can promise you, from our perspective, the CGI is nowhere, and I mean nowhere near as bad. In fact, I'd say it holds up pretty well for the most part. I mean, apart from Raiden's lightning bolts and the odd CGI here or there, it's not too distracting. I think, honestly, CGI holds up pretty well, and a lot of the gory parts and the blood all looks really good, very realistic, and I can definitely say that if you are a fan of gore, I think you'll love this one.
Yeah, because that was one of the big complaints of the original movies from the 90s, that they weren't violent, they were PG-13. But, that was, I feel like in hindsight, people gave a lot of credit to the 2021 movie. Like, they just say, oh, it's violent, so it's fine. But then in hindsight, I don't think, even outside of that, it has a lot of... Here's something that's... Okay, should we just get into spoilers now? Like, we've said a lot of things we liked. I don't think we can just spoil now. So if you wanted to see the movie and were thinking about it, haven't seen it yet, it's been out for nearly a month now, I'd say you'd enjoy it. If you're a fan of the franchise or like some fighting action movies, I'd say you'd enjoy it.
Yeah, I think this is a safe point now for spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled, feel free to click off, and please do obviously come back to the video once you're done.
Yeah. So, the previous movie introduced this new element that also wasn't in the games called Arcana. Basically, that was their way of saying, and this is off the top of my head because, again, I haven't watched it recently, it was saying, like, you're Earthrealm's champions, you are chosen, and we will give you powers for the tournament. So they got the dragon Mortal Kombat symbol on their chest and stuff, but they had to go through training to get it, and eventually they got it, but I mean, a lot of the powers didn't really make sense. Like, Jax loses his arms to Sub-Zero in the original movie, so his Arcana is that he gets the metal arms, but they start out tiny and useless, but then once he's actually fully powered, that's when they become big. But I'm like, wait a minute, but so what? When the tournament's over, does he lose those arms, or does he just magically keep them? Like, see, that alone, like, I think that just shows why it was a dumb inclusion. And this, basically my point is, this movie completely ignores that. Arcana is gone. Everyone with powers, they just have powers now. Liu Kang has fire. Sonya has purple ring blasts. I mean, I think in the original timeline those were powers, but the NetherRealm, the new games, they made it technology, which personally I prefer. I think it's more I think sometimes it's interesting to have characters that are normal and outmatched, and use wits around them. And Johnny didn't have his green glow powers at first, but he gets it at the end. And I think the way they went, I don't know if he always had it and he just needed to unleash it, or basically they've also introduced Shinnok's amulet, and so they use that to make Shao Kahn immortal, basically. So
and it's definitely one of the most accurate things from the game.
Yeah, it looks identical to the games, and so he has that, and he's able to be immortal. And so oh yeah, and here's the big spoiler: Cole Young dies.
Yeah, that was definitely the biggest one.
I'm not gonna lie, I knew about. I did get spoiled online because I knew it was gonna happen. He went from being the main character to be barely focused on in the marketing. He lasted a lot longer than I thought he would, honestly. I genuinely thought he was going to die in the first 10 minutes, but he stuck around for quite a while. And so he died, but a lot of characters die in this movie, but I feel like it's not treated... It's kind of shrugged off, but then this movie, I guess... Even in the games, nobody stays dead. I mean, Kung Lao died in the last movie, but he was brought back as a revenant. Kano died, I guess, but he didn't get brought back because he's already evil. So they just say, oh, just give him a new eye. So that's weird, and so there are some things I can nitpick that it weren't faithful to the games that I will nitpick. Like, for example... And it's weird too, because Kano lost his eye in the first movie, so you think, okay, now he's going to get his metal eye, but no, Quan Chi just gives him a normal-looking eye, and so I'm like, well, that was a wasted opportunity. So,
did it ever shoot lasers, or was this a new thing?
It always shot lasers, yeah. That's another thing, though. Why would your power be? You only have one eye laser. I know in the games that's why, but like without it makes no sense. Why can't you just shoot lasers from both eyes? Like that's a weird. I don't know. It's again like that's again why Arcana was such a stupid inclusion.
This might be just my little. Well, I wouldn't say it's a nitpick. I'd just say it's like more of an opinion. But I think the reason why a lot of the characters that you mentioned get kind of brushed off when they get killed off because they're not actually dead. They don't stay dead.
Yeah.
I think the reason is because they were trying to make the plot go a little bit faster pacing, trying to get this movie to move along because they wanted to set it up but don't drag it on for too long and just get all the fighters all together. Here's your tournament. Here's your characters. Johnny at first declines. He doesn't want to get involved with it. He's like, I'm not Johnny Cage, I'm an actor, Hollywood, you know, I don't give a shit about all that. I've made movies, I wasn't happy with them in the end, I don't care, I appreciate the fans, but I just don't care right now. I'm not going to be part of this Mortal Kombat BS, as he calls it. He walks away, and then we come to a bar scene where he talks to a fan, he says he really enjoyed his movies, he's like, oh, thank you so much for that, and then we have an appearance from
Ed Boon, the series creator, the man himself, Ed Boon. So and he's called Ed, of course, but probably didn't need to tell you that part. Yeah, I always love it when the big names or names that are attached to the video games especially appear in the movies. Like in Uncharted when Nolan North was on the beach when they arrived on there. That was nice. And I haven't watched the Last of Us series, but I know Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson do appear in that series.
Yeah, obviously I'm not going to spoil it because I've seen it, but their appearances are pretty good.
Yeah. So yeah, and I haven't watched this movie in years, and rest in peace. But I know James McCaffrey, Max Payne, appeared in the Max Payne movie. But
yeah.
Again, I didn't even know the series were games back then. But so I just watched it off the cuff and didn't like it. But yeah, getting off topic again. I'm very good at doing that, as you can see.
That's all right. You're just expressing your opinion, mate. That's what we do.
It's your opinion, man. Yeah. So yeah, there was a scene that. Speaking of that scene in the bar, the fan who went up to him, they did the whole like, oh, they should do a reboot, and and the fact that he said nobody wants that. I'm like, I think that's a commentary on Hollywood always rebooting things, and like. And also another cool detail, because I'm a big fan of the games, and especially, so I noticed some of the small Easter eggs. The fact that he had a movie called Citizen Cage. I know it's a reference to Citizen Kane, but as you know, in MK9, the 2011 reboot, he actually said that was one of his movies, Citizen Cage. So I'm like, okay, they actually keep that one in. So I'm wondering, will they do Ninja Mime? Probably not. This Johnny doesn't seem the kind of actor to do Ninja Mime. But it's also, and I know people are probably tired of the whole washed-up hero sort of thing. I get it, but I think it works for this one because it was more a commentary on 90s action stars, and the 90s were the 90s, and he said oh, people want gritty and serious now, and Keanu Reeves stabbing people with pencils, and I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't really call John Wick gritty and serious. It's still very over the top, but I guess it's gritty in terms of tone, but not in terms of action. But yeah, so when we first see him, we see one of his movies, and it's a really, really cheesy, over-the-top fight scene. And there was one bit, and I know it's stupid. I think that's an ambulance going by. Oh, hope no one got fatality'd. But there was a part in that fake movie where there was a woman with an RPG, and he impales her with a pole, and then she fires the rocket, and somehow, even though she was standing above him and the garage door entrance was much below her, she somehow managed to fire the rocket out of the garage and then butt up to hit a helicopter, and I literally was like, as if.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that kind of stuff you would see in a video game, where sometimes when you do fire, it will sometimes depend on where you aim. It's I guess it's kind of like when you're using a rifle, you have to really choose carefully how you aim and use the scope, because sometimes you might think, oh, I'm going to aim for the middle, but you aim too much to the left, so it goes to the left.
Yeah, but in that case, it literally curved upwards to a helicopter she couldn't even see.
Yeah.
It would if it went out the window sky above, then it would have made more sense. But I mean, I'm literally I will nitpick, but this one is bottom of the barrel because it's a parody of cheesy 90s action. So I'm not actually whinging about it.
Well, I think that was the whole point. I think they did that on purpose, as if you could be like, oh, come on, that would never happen. And the thing is, though, where did that shop even come from?
Literally, I don't think it was there at the start, but I guess we couldn't see it. But but things I will whinge about, I literally went, oh, come on, or something like that when I saw this. So Kitana's mask came on CGI like it was nanotech. I'm like, oh.
But then after her fight, she takes it off like it's part of a
like
outfit.
it's a normal mask. I'm like, why don't you just put it on like a mask? Why does it have to be nanotech or whatever that was? I'm just like, enough of that. It's just a simple COVID mask.
Pretty much, yeah. Because it covered her nose and everything.
It's lit. I know this is. I know it's existed long before that, but like that's all it is. Just put it on. Like I get if she can't. Like it does not need to be CGI. And she wore it for a fight against Johnny. I don't think she wore it against Shao Kahn.
No, she didn't.
No, so like it was just for that one scene. So just I guess they didn't want. But like even if you don't want to build one. It's literally just blue fabric. Just put it over her mouth for a second. Same with Jade. Yeah.
Like maybe originally the mask wasn't planned. Maybe it was a last-minute addition.
I don't know. They've been showing her more without the masks lately. So maybe because like the old games always had them wear the masks, but because they got more story-heavy and more graphically detailed. And I guess NetherRealm has really detailed facial animations. Like Injustice 2 onward. Like everyone was very expressive. I think that's why. Oh, bloody sirens!
Yeah.
I think that's why MK11, or every time you did a fatality, the mask would always come off by default because they want to show off their expressions. But I'm like, can you at least let me keep the mask on? Some characters look better with the mask on.
Yeah, I would definitely say a lot of the characters look more intimidating with the mask on.
Yeah, but speaking of which, I will give them credit. Okay, so the movie opens with Kitana as a child, and King Jared fights Shao Kahn, and of course, if you know MK lore, he dies. But interestingly, we rarely ever get to see that. So I think this is the first time I've seen King Jared. I think there was an MK series, web series called Conquest, I think, where he was in it. And do you want to know who played him? I think it was in MK Conquest. Kirby Morrow.
Oh, Ocean Dub Goku.
Yeah, I'm like, he played actual King Jared live action. I'm like, the fuck? I have to censor that now. I wanted to try not swear. Now I have to censor that.
It's okay. You're good at covering things up.
Yeah, well, I have a funny censorship. That's why. I used it a lot in my last video.
I mean, it did make me laugh quite a bit every time I heard you swear.
Yeah, but I think I heard MK1 does have King Jared as Ermac, so I haven't played the newest Mortal Kombat 1, because I was just kind of turned off, and I heard a lot of negative things about it, and I was going to wait for the Ultimate Edition because the second combat pack was just literally, to me, was just like picking guest characters out of a hat. So I'm like, that's why I'm like, I'm not paying 100 quid for this. Like, I'll wait for the inevitable definitive edition, which is out now, and I still haven't bought it.
All of these definitive editions, deluxe editions, ultimate editions. So how many editions can you literally make before you're like, okay, here's this content, here's that content. But I'm going a bit of a rant here, but I just wish that games would stop taking characters out from the main game and making them DLC.
Yeah.
Granted, if they're not finished, then by all means make them DLC. But if they're characters that are already done, don't.
Yeah,
just don't do
that.
that.
I guess I'll just throw my hat in for that as well. I'm fine with DLC characters, I feel like whenever they do pre-order characters, because they're clearly finished and on the disc, but they're just like pre-order or pay $5 to $10.
Yeah, they stick it behind a paywall.
Especially Mortal Kombat's very guilty, because I remember when MK11 was releasing, every single trailer they would like pre-order to get Shao Kahn. Like every single trailer was shoving that in your face. Even Shao Kahn's own trailer. They're just like, right, okay, you've won your fight. Now go sit back on the throne. Yeah. I'm like, and MK1 I think had Shang Tsung as the pre-order bonus. But like DLC characters, especially guest characters, because they wouldn't be in the game base. Maybe on PS2, but not now.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with that. But anyway, yeah, one thing I know. So in terms of things, I'm going to try and remember because I didn't write anything down. One thing I noticed was Sindel's in the movie, of course, but Kitana's mother. But weirdly enough, she doesn't seem to have her hair power. Like, she screams. She has a banshee scream, but she doesn't have the hair power because she fights Sonya in, I'm guessing, a very tight pit with spikes, and Sonya, well, she wins. But and also I think they made, I don't know how they do it because they never show these things, but so I think they made Sindel not mortal, but I think she can just come back from the dead. No, I think Shao Kahn said they'll keep resurrecting her. So like Quan Chi, I think will just like bring her back every time because she said, "I gave up my mortality" or something. So which I think is what happened in the games as well. Not the same way, but I think
but similar.
Yeah, in the games how do I put it? Yeah, because YouTube doesn't like this word. She ended herself.
Yeah.
And so that's but apparently she did it in Earthrealm, but that's separate things. I'd have to look more into that. But in this one, I'm guessing, I don't know, she did it herself, or maybe I don't know what the context is. They just say, "Oh, I gave up my mortality. You do the same. I'm loyal to Shao Kahn," or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because Sindel's been a very controversial character in the games. She was always looked evil, but she was actually a loving mother. But then MK11 retconned that to she always was evil, and that she killed Jared and she wanted Shao Kahn, which, yeah, everyone hated that retcon. Everyone. I don't know if they fixed it in MK1. I genuinely don't know, but. So I'm just putting that out there. I don't know if Sindel is evil because after Sonya fights her, she stabs her with a spike in the head. But again, I think they say she'll bring her back. But then when Kitana finds out, not Kitana. I'm not pacing these things well. But So Kitana. So okay. Should I rewind because I feel like I'm jumping into topics that I'm not
It's okay,
prefacing.
mate.
Okay, so. We've done the Johnny Cage thing, so yeah, the rest of the cast, we know where they are. Like, they're all with Raiden, Sonya, Liu Kang, Jax, and Cole. Yeah. And so they need a fifth member. So, Kitana, before King Jared, Kitana's dad, died, he gave her a necklace and be like, "This is for Lord Raiden will always watch over you." And so she uses that to transport to his Sky Temple and talk with him. So she's basically a double agent for Earthrealm. So, but then, and Jade is like, I think they say like she chose her as a sparring partner when they were young, and so they were basically like sisters. And so Jade sells her out to Shao Kahn, and
which did actually disappoint me, but at the same time I thought to myself, I know that she's only doing it because she's actually afraid. If she doesn't do what she's told, then she'll end up having a fate worse.
Yeah, I think she clearly did it out of fear because I think you can tell from her face, and the actress is really good. Like she's the star of the new Naughty Dog game actually. Tati Gabrielle, and she was in Last of Us season 2.
Yeah, but
played Nora.
But you can definitely tell that
she's a good actress.
That she didn't want to go through with what she had to do.
Yeah. I do think her actual turn was a little, like, I don't know, I feel like I would have liked more scenes of them talking about it. Like, she sells Kitana out, and Shao, so I'll get back to Sindel. Shao Kahn threatens to crush Sindel's head, and he says, like, it'll be much harder to resurrect her with this way or something. I'm like...
Yeah, without a skull.
But she got stabbed in the brain. Like, that's fine. I don't know how it works. To be fair, this isn't a fault of the movie. Even the games are always very vague about these things.
Well, maybe he's like, if there's not a single part of a skull left in her, then she won't be able to regenerate. It's kind of like, again, trying not to go off too much topic, it's like Cell in Dragon Ball Z, how when he blew himself up, only one cell in his whole body remained, and that one cell was all he needed to regenerate. So maybe if there's a fraction of a skull left intact, then you could still regenerate. But of course, if there's nothing literally left, if he crushes the whole skull, then I guess that means you're finito, even if you are immortal. I guess. It's a bit confusing.
I suppose. I mean, even in the games, they've always, like, there was a part, basically, so, like, did I mention Kung Lao came back as a Revenant? Or, like, I think it was no secret that he was going to be in the movie. And even in the Revenant look is different to the games. In the games, well, the newest ones anyway, they're all dark-skinned and burnt, and they have these burnt scars on them, but in this, he didn't really look that different. I think he just had slightly paler skin, I think.
Yeah, but I remember you were saying that you kind of wish that the costumes were a bit more brighter.
Yes, I don't want to forget that. Yeah, I'm very, now this is my biggest nitpick. I'm very, very, very particular about the characters, like prime colors and all that. Like, we know Kitana from a blue, Jade from a green. Raiden wears blue and has blue lightning. It's Sub-Zero's blue, Scorpion's yellow, Reptile's green, Ermac's red, etc., etc. I feel like Kitana's blue wasn't pronounced enough. She had silver on her, like armored silver on her shoulder, on her neck, and that was a lot more pronounced than her blue. Her blue was very dark. Same with Jade. I feel like her green wasn't as pronounced as it should have been.
I could hardly visibly see her green, like it was there, but you had to look very carefully.
Well, it also doesn't help. These movies are very darkly lit sometimes. Like, the brightest scene was in that desert scene when Johnny fights Baraka, and like that was like the brightest the movie looked. But Scorpion, again, his yellow, you could barely make his actual bright yellow. You could barely make it out.
I mean, I'm hoping they weren't trying to dim the colours to hide away some of the CGI.
I wouldn't say so, because I feel like it wasn't dark enough to hide anything. It was just an aesthetic choice, I guess. But like there was some really good colors in the throne room. Like, there was a shot that was zoomed out, you could see the red through the windows. I really liked that. I thought that looked really good.
Yeah.
Noob Saibot, like, I don't know if you've played MK11 or seen his design. He looks exactly the way he does in MK11. His design is 1-to-1 identical.
Yeah, I'd agree on that one.
Yeah, even the shadow clone, the Saibot. I guess Noob is that's such a cursed name. Noob is like the regular body, Saibot is the spirit clone that comes out, and they both looked 1-to-1 like the default costume from MK11. So that was really good. Although Beyond was much less used. He was because when he was Sub-Zero in the first movie, he had a much bigger role, but he was a bit less. He was a bit.
That's a motorbike.
A motorbike. He was much less used this time around. Like, so that's a shame. And Scorpion was there for one scene, like when Kane. So like Kano decides to change sides, which was surprising, because usually he likes to team up with the bad guys, Outworld and all that. But even at a good point. Like this is what I mean. This is a funny scene because it's not pop culture heavy. It's just him saying stuff and he won't shut up. Like, it's like the funny Australian man, just like I like JD and Coke. I like JD. I like Coke.
I like fresh air.
I like one night stands.
I like threesomes and foursomes.
Yeah, see, that's funny. Like, yeah, see, this is the thing. I don't even like Kano. Kano has always been one of my least favorite characters from the games, but in the movies, he's weirdly the best character every time.
Yeah, they
even in the original
quite relikable.
Yeah, but he's also funny because the actor has so much energy. Even in the original 90s movie, I'd argue he was one of the better characters because he was the only one with energy. And ironically, Trevor Goddard, I think his name was, rest in peace, he's the reason Kano is Australian, because apparently it was only 2 games at the time, so there was no voice acting, but apparently Kano was originally meant to be like an Asian crime lord or something, or Asian criminal. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I read that once. But basically he's the reason. His performance was so good in the first movie, they decided, let's make him Australian from now on. So I had a lot of respect for that. And weirdly enough, one character I really was not expecting to like was Baraka. He is so different to the games. Nothing like he is in the games. And in my opinion, for the better, because I will say this, like, if you're a fan of Baraka, you do you, but to me, he is one of the most boring overrated characters. He is a character that lives and dies on his design. If his design wasn't so unique and so cool, I think he would have been left in the dustbin a long time ago. Yeah, because he has no personality. He has nothing going on outside of being a jobber. He literally is the series jobber. Everyone calls him that because he always loses. He's like the most I can think of him is that he was loyal to Shao Kahn because Shao Kahn conquered his realm and spared his life. That was a line he had in MKX before he died. But that's it. And like he did switch sides in MK11 and MK1 retconned a lot. I don't know if it was better or not, but I don't know. To me, Baraka's always been one of the most uninteresting characters. That's why I always felt when the fact he made the cut for MK versus DC, like the tiny roster they were able to make, like they threw him in there. I'm like, all right, he has a unique design. I get it, but he's still a very uninteresting character. But he was, sorry, I'll let you cut in. But he was really funny in this movie. Like, it is weird hearing him talk. He had like a British accent.
Yeah.
It's like, that was the best fight I ever had. Oh, you're Johnny Cage. I didn't say the F-bomb, but he said that basically.
Yeah.
And so, because usually he talks all monstrously. It's like, that is no toy. Like, it's Tarkatan, Earth Realmer.
Yeah, those are good impressions, by the way. But yeah, I would actually second agree with you. That I think, you know, obviously he's the biggest change of character in this movie, I would say.
Yeah.
But I would say it's a change done better. I think he's much better in this film than all the games combined.
Yeah, he's funny. He actually has personality, and the fact that he actually likes John, like he hates Johnny, but then when he fights him and he loses after Johnny does his iconic nut punch, he goes. That's when he does like that was the best fight ever. And so now he seems to be one of the good guys. So I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, since they've pretty much confirmed at the end of the movie that there is a third one coming, so I guess they'd be on our side now.
Yeah. So, yeah, I already mentioned Kano's laser. So what other things were missing? Kano's laser, even though there was a perfect opportunity to do it, they just chose not to for some reason. Sindel not having her long hair.
You were talking about the mother.
Yeah, Sindel. That's the hair part.
But you was also talking how she got possibly retconned in the games. And
yeah. Like, I don't know if she's mind. Oh yeah, I think I was gonna say I don't know if Sindel is actually evil or mind controlled because after Shao Kahn killed Jared, she did try to go in for the kill herself, but then kneeled. So, but then time jump several years later, and suddenly now she's like just, I'm guessing, controlled by Quan Chi. Speaking of which, like Quan Chi is a character I've never cared for, but he looks really good. Like they got all the makeup perfect for his markings on his body, his pale skin, like even the little things like the markings he has on his arms. They actually looked pretty identical. All he was missing was the gem in his forehead, I think.
Yeah. I would ever say about the mother, I never really got so much evil vibes. I feel like she was more or less just fighting for her own life and safety. Like she was obviously trying to fight for her daughter by being loyal, you know, to
Shao Kahn.
To Shao Kahn, because, like, I mean, as you say, in the video game, she was retcon. You know, she was evil, then she wasn't, and then it's like, well, I guess they went for the I'm not completely evil, but at the same time, I need to be loyal to supposedly my new partner.
Yeah, my new king or lord, or well, they never call him King Shao Kahn, but they just call him Lord. Yeah. So some of the fights were, I think. I don't know if we want to say power. Personally, I will say I thought the fight between Liu Kang and Kung Lao was kind of boring. I don't know which is a shame because thematically they are brothers, even in universe, but something about it just, I don't know, there was no impact, and I think Kung Lao is a cool character, but him using his hat all the time is like, well, that's a weapon where he can just slice you instantly, so you can't really you can't really have him use that all the time because he'd win immediately.
I mean, it did kind of give me Frieza and Goku
Grr,
vibes. When Frieza throws his...
What are these, inverted controls?
Yeah.
I couldn't resist.
Yeah.
That's one of my favourite lines.
I love that too. You told us what a bee, I don't like bees. But yeah, it kind of gave me the Frieza vibes where he's throwing the Death Saucer at Goku, he dodges, and then he tries to bring it back towards him.
Yeah.
And I guess in the end, again, kind of like Goku, he used his own weapon against him.
Yeah, and yeah, because he did, because he... Yeah, this is a somewhat unique fatality. It's not too dissimilar to what he's done, but basically, I actually thought Liu Kang was going to sacrifice himself and let himself die, because he's like, Liu Kang was like, I want to save you, and so it looked like he was about ready to just accept his death, and so Kung Lao goes in to shove him, but then at the last second, Liu Kang grabs his arms and pulls his momentum with him into Kung Lao's hat, and it slices his stomach up. And I was like, that actually caught me off guard. I won't lie. That was, and then he says like, I will save you, but not here. So
yeah, because I remember a line he says to him before he does that. He's all like, "Don't make me do this."
yeah, because like I get it, it's his brother, and like I thought his death was kind of bullshit in the first movie. I'm like, that could have been avoided, but then I don't know. Problem with Shang Tsung, like he has the ability to just absorb your soul and kill you, but I'm like, so what? The second he just gets close to you, he can just do that. Like, unless there's a way to break free, but they usually make it seem like you can't break free. But I don't know. We still have yet to see Shang Tsung fight. So the fact Shang Tsung and Quan Chi are both in this movie, they might do Deadly Alliance next. But they also have hinted at Shinnok. So I don't know which one they'll do. I mean, neither Shang Tsung nor Quan Chi do any fighting. They don't really do much at all. But Quan Chi I'll forgive, because he's just kind of there. He resurrected Quan Chi and Bi-Han and I guess Kano, or gave Kano an eye. But that's other than that. And they took him prisoner at the end. Yeah, it looked like they were going to the Netherrealm, I think.
Yeah.
So I know we mentioned CGI. There was one part I just remembered that really stood out to me. There was a part where I think Kung Lao teleports with his hat, but it was a part where he threw his hat and slowly a spirit formed, and I thought, oh, does he have like some sort of spirit power? But no, it was him slowly teleporting, and I'm like, that was rough. The way his body formed under the hat to showcase teleporting, but the way it looked, it made me think he had some sort of body spirit or something. I'm like, that wasn't it, Chief. That wasn't it. That's what I like to say. But yeah, so in terms of the fights, so I guess we'll go through them all. The first one is Johnny fights Kitana. Of course, he loses, but Kitana reveals she's on their side.
Yeah.
That to me, that was like, wait, so the Elder Gods wanted Johnny, and he lost immediately. So I'm like, well, so much for that. But then he still went on to do stuff, because Baraka wasn't part of the tournament. He was completely separate. They went to him for help, basically.
Yeah.
Sonya fought Sindel. She won, surprisingly. Who was next? Liu Kang against Kung Lao. We just said that. Cole fought Shao Kahn, which I immediately was like, that's unfair. That's very unfair. And like, I think it's weird Shao Kahn is like in the lineup. You'd think, oh, wouldn't you want to have him be the final boss? Like, beat my 5... But then again, I guess Earthrealm doesn't have that, so I guess it wouldn't be fair. Oh, and this is another detail they got from the games I wasn't expecting. They did the whole 9 victories thing. So, like, I think basically saying, like, Earthrealm has lost 9 times in a row. If they lose this time, Outworld will absorb. And I'm like, oh, they actually did that detail as well. I thought they'd have just ignored it, because, like, no one really cares about that. But, yeah, Cole actually almost killed him, almost beat Shao Kahn, but that's when they showcase his new immortality, because the second Cole slits his throat, it heals.
Yeah, because I remember in the background you were saying, oh, that's not fair.
Yeah, literally. I was like, what, he's got to fight the final boss? I'm like, he's going to die. I know I said this like 10 minutes ago, but I knew Cole was featured so little in the marketing. I think you could barely see him on the poster. I knew he was going to die. It's kind of, even though I didn't see the movie, but I knew it was going to happen. When Marvel's Thunderbolts, and I guess spoilers, but I knew, what was her name? Forgot her name. Taskmaster. I knew Taskmaster was going to die because she was featured so little in the marketing.
Well, it's like Deadpool 2 when his is I don't know if I can say this, but on YouTube, the star.
Yeah.
When she wasn't featured so much in the marketing for number 2, because again, spoilers, she was killed, but then he brought her back again.
Yeah, it's so weird that was actually canon. I thought that was just played for laughs, because after he saved her, it just goes back and like, oh, here's X-Men Origins Wolverine, and he kills the fake Deadpool, and then here's Ryan Reynolds accepting Green Lantern, and he kills
and there's a deleted scene where he kills baby Hitler.
Oh, yeah, I remember
But they had to remove it because they thought it was offensive for killing a baby, even though it's Hitler.
I mean, I don't know, it's whatever. It's,
like... I mean, who cares about Hitler?
Nobody.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
but anyway.
Yeah. So, okay, this part actually I thought was weird. Oh, yeah. Oh, and Jax fought Jade as well. Yeah, Jax fought Jade. He spared her, and I think, I don't know, they was like, yeah, you're pretty good, Solid Snake.
He pretty much said, well, you spared one of ours, so I'm sparing one of you guys, so we're even.
So I think that was their first hint towards Jade switching sides. I think it was slowly built up over time. They did that fairly well, but I do think we should have seen more of the aftermath.
But Katana did say, to all of them, including Raymond's, like, please don't kill her.
Yeah.
Like do what you got to do, but just don't destroy her.
Yeah. So then that's when it stops being a tournament, and so, well, not really, but they start twisting the rules a little bit. So Earthrealm's winning because I think they've got them 3-2, but then they go to destroy the amulets, and it's in some really strong cage. And so Liu Kang fights Shao Kahn, Jade and Sonya and Johnny fight Shao Kahn. Jax dies, and it's not really acknowledged that much. I mean, I don't know. That was something where I was like, well, deaths don't really. This is deaths. Even Dragon Ball Z has more consequence with death than this, because like at least when a character dies, there's like drama, and except when Piccolo died that one time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that was different once we got Super, because now we've got another set of Dragon Balls. So death is now pointless.
You make it sound death has no consequence.
It really doesn't.
Off top. Yeah, so Jax dies, and I thought like he gets both his arms ripped off one by one. He held his own well though. Like, it's interesting, Shao Kahn, I always thought, I mean, maybe it's because I've been playing MK9 too much. Even recently, actually. That's the game I'm going to play for this video. And must disclaimer, I suck at fighting games, so if you're wondering why I'm not comboing, that's why, because I suck. And I'm also playing on Xbox 360, which has a bullshit D-pad. Love the controller, terrible D-pad.
I'm not gonna lie, after seeing this movie, I kind of want to reinstall one of the newer Mortal Kombats on PS5 and play that. I mean, I'm pretty good at fighting games, but I must admit, Mortal Kombat, it's a bit complicated to get the controls, because everyone fights differently, they don't all fight the same. Yeah. So it's not your typical, just pick up the controller, press X, Y, and all that stuff. You really have to memorize a lot of these combos. And I would recommend a lot of practice in the practice mode before you go online, because you're going to get your ass kicked.
Yeah, because I can't combo to save my life, and I also can't memorize them. So funny thing, I had to look up the combos for the characters I played as just to read them, because I didn't want to keep pausing every 5 minutes, if that. So yeah, so that's I probably should have said that at the start. So I don't know if this video is going to be long enough, but no, wait. Doesn't matter. The footage is an hour long. What am I on about? I'm not making sense, am I?
You can't break in the fourth wall there.
Yeah, I'm Deadpool now. Speaking of Deadpool, I forgot to mention this. That acid room where Cole fought Shao Kahn in games is called the Deadpool. I'm sorry to keep going back to this, but I thought when Shao Kahn killed Cole, he was gonna shove him into the acid pool, but he did after he killed him. Like, he just smashed his head with the hammer and then just slowly, gently shoved his body in. I'm like, oh, okay then. Yeah, I thought you were gonna do the actual. Again, like there was no drama. It was probably because there was no witnesses, but I think they know Cole wasn't well received. Like, everyone thought he was a boring character, and like Johnny served the same role he did in that movie anyway. So it really just shows the first movie was kind of pointless.
Yeah, I guess it is. I guess it really was no point in me watching the first one anyway.
No, I mean, you can watch it out of curiosity. Maybe there are some things I forgot that are important. Maybe characters that died in that movie will come back in the next one.
Well, you mentioned Raiden was kind of a jerk in the first one.
Yeah, I don't know. He was weirdly hostile for some reason. I'm just like, he was a lot nicer in this movie. So, and I'm good. And the actor did a good job. I mean, this is a me problem. I'm so used to Richard Epcar's voice in the game. So anyone else to me is just isn't Raiden. But I know Raiden is meant to be a Japanese god, or based on Raidu or something like that. So it is technically more accurate. Even though in universe I think Raiden can take any form he wants, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah. I will definitely say that the actor, in fact, I'd say all the actors in this film did a fantastic job.
Yeah, Kitana was great.
They really nailed all the characters, the personalities, and I think they deserve a lot of credit.
Yeah, Kitana was probably my favorite because I always worry when they're not fighting, the movies are boring because no one has enough charisma to keep the energy going. But I found Kitana very compelling. Like I genuinely liked her, and I think and of course there was a lot of controversy about her being the one to defeat Shao Kahn, but it made sense. I'm sorry. Yes, I know Liu Kang is usually the hero, but look, hot take, Liu Kang's not that interesting. Okay, like they only made him interesting in the later games, but most people didn't like that because he was a dick. Like. Although they didn't really seem to hint towards his romance with Kitana. Maybe they'll do that in the next movie. I don't know. Because like this part really confused me. Liu Kang died in big air quotes. I don't know. He just kind of withered away. Like it didn't feel like Shao Kahn killed him because him and Sonya fight Shao Kahn together, and then because while Kitana's like tied up, but then when Liu Kang disappears, Sonya frees Kitana and then gets knocked out herself. I'm like, okay, what happened? Is he gone to save Kung Lao? Like, is he one with the spirits? Because he got impaled and then his like dragon spirit sort of came out and then he just withered away. So I don't know what that was really.
It's a bit unclear. Like we don't know if he's actually dead or not.
Yeah, like I feel like the simplest term is like it's like he was one with the Force or something like that. That's the best.
I was actually going to make that joke, but I thought I better not. It was in my head. I thought, don't say it.
Yeah.
I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me.
Oh, that one I wasn't thinking of, but yeah, that's pretty on point. Yeah, so Kitana fights Shao Kahn, and I think it was done better here than it was in MK11, honestly. So more points there, and again. Kitana felt like the protagonist. Well, both Kitana and Johnny were the protagonists. So but he was still immortal. So Johnny was able to destroy Shinnok's amulet, and that's what took away his immortality. And so Kitana was able to win. So I think it all worked personally. And plus Kitana was literally probably fighting since she was a child. So of course she'd be able to hold her own. Because it's interesting. This Shao Kahn. Yeah, I think I said this, but then just went off it. Shao Kahn, I always used to him like being very monstrous and a brute, but this one was less so. Like he took a lot of hits and he got stabbed a lot, but he was also very persistent. Like when he fought King Jared stabbed him in a lot of areas and then stabbed him through the hand, but then when he was about to go in for the kill, he blocked it with his other hand, but then still pushed him forwards and was able to kill Jared.
Yeah, because he did stab him quite a lot under his armpit a lot.
Yeah, that too. So I was like, wow, he's taking a lot of hits. So it's like that. It's not like, I don't know, the Mountain from Game of Thrones, if that even makes sense. I don't know. I'm only thinking off the top of my head. They're like, no, he takes quite a lot of hits. I mean, Cole Young managed to land a few blows on him. So if he wasn't immortal, he would have lost. So you can call that being nerfed or something. I don't know. I mean, look, he's an arcade final boss who's meant to be OP. How do you translate that to a movie where characters can stab people? Yeah. It's not like they have health bars in the actual movie. But
another ambulance.
Another ambulance.
That's the third one now.
Whoever you asked, just stop having a heart attack, okay?
But easier said than done.
Yeah, hope you're okay though. Disclaimer. What else? Yeah, so I think, is there anything else you want to say?
I mean, I know that we was going by the fights one by one.
Yeah.
How about we talk about the final fight in the film?
Yeah, I think all I can say is, yeah, they're all very well done. Like Kitana fighting Shao Kahn, and oh wait, we'll circle back to that, but we completely forgot. We barely mentioned it. So yeah, I mentioned we mentioned Kano joining sides. Nearly forgot to mention this part. When Kung Lao first appears, he attacks Raiden's Sky Temple, and Raiden gets his throat slashed a little bit, and he's not bleeding. He's like light. It's like light is coming out of his throat. I mean, he's a god. He's a god. So, but they've always said when Raiden dies in games, he can just come back. But I'm like, so is that what can happen here, or what's the threat? Again, they don't explain these things. Can Raiden just come back if his human body dies, or is it not that simple? Because the point was to weaken Raiden, and then Shang Tsung was going to come in and absorb Raiden's body with Shinnok's amulets and give it to Shao Kahn. But then Raiden on his deathbed, when Kano joins forces with them, he's like, Bihan has the amulet. He's in the Netherrealm, which is basically hell. Yeah. Literally hell. I'm surprised they didn't even say that, actually. But so Johnny and Kano go meet Scorpion. He takes them to the actual Netherrealm, because weirdly enough, actually, when they see him, it's all like nice, flowery. It's like blossomy Japanese garden or something, and it's like, this is hell. Actually, they made a joke about that.
They did.
Yeah, they made Kano. It's like, this is hell. Send me right here, or something like that. Yeah. But then it's just in his mind, basically.
Yeah, I remember he was saying, "Oh, this is hell. Sign me the F up."
Yeah, literally that. And then, so Scorpion agrees to help them, and he scorpions up and everything.
But that's only when they mention Sub-Zero.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then he's like, "Right, I'm with you."
Yeah, and then he's like, that's all he cares about, killing Bihan, or.
He wants to get revenge for his family.
He has so many names, because it's funny, because Noob Saibot, when he was first introduced in MK3, I don't think he was the original Sub-Zero yet. That was until Deception, where it was retconned. It's like, actually, Noob Saibot was the original Sub-Zero Bihan. So I'm like, interesting. So I don't know whether to call him Bihan, Sub-Zero, or Noob Saibot, because he has 3 different names.
The problem is, though, when you've got so many writers, there's so many retcons.
Basically. But yeah, because things change as they go along as well.
That's another motorbike in the background.
Oh god. Maybe we should just let it pass. Hold on. Okay, if it's too much background noise, I can maybe put this in Audacity and do the noise reduction thing.
Yeah, because they're quite loud and close.
Yeah. So yeah, the fight with Noob Saibot was really good. They utilized his clone very well. He didn't do his iconic teleport slam, but I don't think he used his. Actually, he didn't use his portals at all. He just went into the ground like a shadow, which I guess makes sense as well. And he had that hook from MK11, like I said. So that's neat. They really didn't hold back on, this is what I want. If they had that level of accuracy for the outfits and the costumes and the looks, it would be a 10 out of 10 in the character department. God, that motorbike looks ancient.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's quite a few motorbike people.
They're parking, so
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and of course he said the classic line, "Get over here!"
Yeah, and it was actually the voice line from the games this time. I don't think it was that in the original. I'm pretty sure it was the actor's voice. I could be misremembering, but yeah, it was Ed Boon's classic, iconic, "Get over here!" like the original.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing with that.
Yeah, I'm like, that's how it's just too good. It's too iconic.
Yeah.
It's too good.
I mean, it was so iconic that they got the Terminator to say it one time. Get over here.
Yeah, I think I read that was his way of being like, oh, is this what they say on this planet? That I'll say it too. Get over here.
Yeah, because I know that the actor Arnold Schwarzenegger, he doesn't actually like violence in video games. So
but in movies, it is A-okay.
Yeah, he's fine with movies, but he's not fine with video games. So he actually handpicked a guy to mimic him. And people say it's good, other people say, eh.
I mean...
But I thought it was decent.
I mean, most people, when they do an impression, it's played for laughs, so it was nice to have an earnest impression for once.
But at least they actually got the real Sylvester Stallone.
That was crazy. And they got Peter Weller for RoboCop.
Yeah, that was also nice.
Yeah.
I love that franchise, RoboCop.
Yeah, so... And then, of course, I guess that's why they put Conan in MK1, because, we've still got the Arnie likeness, let's use it for another character who hasn't been relevant for 30 years. But I'm getting off topic. But yeah, the fight. So the fight with Noob Saibot was really cool. Like Kano held his own pretty well, and Johnny awoken his energy, and he did his shadow kick where he slides and he's green and he goes into the amulet. I said that. This part I think was a bit rushed. So Kitana is chained up in the marketplace, let's just say. Shang Tsung has gone to... Jade has told... I think Jade and Shang Tsung are talking and how like Raiden is weak. Like Shang Tsung's going to go there and absorb Raiden's body for real this time. And then Jade's staff, her iconic staff, it had like a Shao Kahn statue on it or something. So she smashes it and it reveals the green or energy underneath it. And I think that was her way of being like, oh, she switched sides, I guess. But that's where I think it was a bit rushed, because she shows up in the Netherrealm and she starts shooting lasers from her stick at Noob Saibot while Kano's blasting her and Scorpion's breathing fire at him, although he didn't go skeleton fire, he didn't go Ghost Rider head, he just breathed it from his mouth, which was a bit lame. But so that was the way. Okay, so she switched sides. So I thought the build up was very well done. I just think the payoff was a bit rushed, and we didn't really see much of it after the fact. We saw like once Shao Kahn's dead, Kitana assumes the throne, so she's the Empress of... Oh, Emperor, that was the word I was looking for. Yeah, she's the ruler of Shao Kahn, or... Outworld, Edenia, Outworld. I'm saying the wrong things. Yeah, so she's the ruler, Jade's right by her side, next to her. I don't know what happened to Sindel. Like, when we saw her, because Sonya impaled her in the brain, she had like some sort of head brace on or something, like as if maybe it was healing her or something, but she kind of disappeared after that, so I don't know what happened to Sindel. Maybe they're going to try and cure her of her evilness or something.
Yeah.
They left a lot of things up in the air. And so the final note is like Johnny goes back to Baraka after promising to train him, and because he said he kept the promise, so good on him. And he's like, they're all around a campfire. He's telling an abridged event story of the events and all that.
Yeah, he takes a lot of the credit.
Yeah, which of course he does. And so it's like, I may have changed a few details. And so like I think he joked about Sonya being a damsel that he saved or something, which
yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna do them romance. I mean, if they're gonna add Cassie to the games, they kind of have to. But they had decent amount. They had decent amount of chemistry. I mean, so I think for the little screen time they spent together, I think it was all right. I could see them getting together in the next movie and it not being forced. And so Quan Chi has been taken prisoner. I don't know if he's weak in this universe or he doesn't have his power yet. I think, if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Quan Chi is powerful because Shinnok is around, I think, like, because in MKX, I don't know if this is actually what it was in the old timeline. When Shinnok was sealed, like, Quan Chi was really weak, and that's why everyone just beat him up so easily. But I think the point was freeing Shinnok from the amulets would make Quan Chi more powerful or something. So I don't know if that's what they're doing in this universe too. Because, I mean, they can't do Deadly Alliance if Quan Chi is absolutely useless. Shang Tsung would be doing all the heavy lifting. But, yeah, so the final note is I think they said, like, they're going to find their friends or something. So I guess they're going to free Liu Kang, Kung Lao, and I guess Jax.
Yeah, so they're going to get more fighters.
So I don't know if they're going to the Netherrealm or going to another realm entirely. But, yeah, Johnny, Sonya, Raiden, Baraka, Kitana, Jade, Kano, and Quan Chi in chains. They were all walking off. I said Raiden, didn't I?
Yes.
Yeah, they're all walking off. A really cool shot, love shots like that of the heroes lined up together doing walking. Love it. Yeah. Love shots like that. So, and I think that's when they tease the next one. I'm not sure who it's going to be. I was certain that there was a post-credit scene for Shinnok, but I guess I was wrong. There was no post-credit scene.
Yeah, but we stay behind just in case, because a lot of people often have a habit of leaving the cinema before they see the final scene or two.
Yeah.
But I guess that's more of a Marvel Disney film, and there's like 2 post-credit scenes.
Yeah, and I suppose I'll mention this. I don't actually care. Like, Jade being bald is not a deal breaker. Again, Tati Gabrielle's really cool, and like I posted that video where they were asking they were basically asking lore questions to all the actors. I think it was her, Kitana, Johnny's, and Shao Kahn's actors. And she got one right, but she was basing it off the old lore from the original timeline. But they were saying, no, it's wrong, it's this. But that's from the new timeline. So I'm like, huh, okay, she's cool. And she seems nice. So I'm like, I don't know if she was bald because she filmed like Intergalactic and I think Intergalactic was why she shaved her head, and then she just happened to do You and Last of Us all around the same time, and this, of course, so...
Well, I mean, this is not really a spoiler, it's just about hair, basically, but in The Last of Us, she had hair.
She did? I thought she was bald.
She had hair, and then it was gone.
Oh, maybe it was a reshoot, or maybe they filmed that scene after the fact.
Yeah.
I read the reason she shaves her head is because the hairstylists on sets don't style their hair right, so she's like, I'd just rather just shave my head, so... But in that video, she had hair. I don't know if it was a wig or not, but it was like white.
Oh, it's a wig, sorry.
Why did I not see that coming? Yeah, so I don't know if that was a wig or not, because it was like she had white dreadlock. Oh, and she was the villain in the Uncharted movie. I forgot about that.
I forgot about that as well.
Yeah, even though we mentioned it like half an hour ago.
Yeah, you're talking about Northern North on the beach and all that.
Yeah, so she was the villain in the Uncharted movie. Not her best role, but then, the Uncharted movie had its moments, but, still could have...
Had its charm.
Had its moments. I really loved the final battle. What's
our final thoughts then on this film?
I'd say this is why I'm not a reviewer, but this is why I also write scripts. But I mean, who doesn't love a ramble, right? It's two friends hanging out.
Yep.
My verdict is I give it a thumbs up. It's good, way better than the first one. Is it better than the 90s original? In my opinion, yes, because I actually don't like the 90s movie that much. Outside of the fight scenes and some of the 90s charm, I think the movie's really boring, personally. And the CGI, I know it's the 90s, but the CGI takes me out of it so much. So this movie has wonky CGI as well, but it's not as bad. Much better set design. And all I want, so I'll say this for the next movie. So I'd say, yeah, this is it's a fun movie. It's got some good fight scenes. Acting's not nearly as wooden as previous movies, and the jokes aren't nearly as overdone as previous movies. So my final thoughts is I'd say they got a lot of details right. I think even though it's the same director, which is surprising, it doesn't feel like it's the same director. I think they actually took the criticism of the first movie to heart, because again, the fact Arcana was dropped kind of says it all, really, that they clearly took the criticisms of the first movie to heart.
Yeah, well, if that's the case, if they get the same director again for the third one, supposedly, then I guess it'd be even better. Well, yeah. Supposedly.
Yeah, as long as they just keep improving, I guess. And hopefully Warner Brothers will give them a little bit a bigger budget. I think the budget was like $50 million, which I know is not money I'll earn anytime soon, but you have to consider for a movie. Like, I don't know how expensive it all goes. Like, and that's not even like accurate numbers. It's just assumptions, because they'll never give the actual numbers. But I don't know how much of a marketing push this movie had. I mean, I saw, I think there was one trailer, and I barely even watched it. I didn't see any merchandise, or they didn't do the popcorn thing like they usually do.
No, right now they're doing The Mandalorian.
Yeah, which is out now.
Yeah.
So purchase tickets now. That's not sponsored.
This is the way.
No, it's not. But yeah,
Oh yeah, there's the Max Power way. But isn't that the one way? Oh yeah, but faster.
Oh my god, so many references. I guess I'm guilty too. It's. I enjoyed it. I think it did some interesting things. Some changes were for the better. I don't think any of the changes were bad. Any potential changes were a bit not really fleshed out. So maybe they're changes. Maybe they're just underdeveloped. Like, characters like Quan Chi aren't really developed yet. Shang Tsung still hasn't done anything despite being in 2 movies. And Sindel's role is unclear. Kano being a good guy, I'm fine with that. I mean, they did the whole Sonya Kano rival thing so many times. I think it's tired now personally.
Yeah.
I think that's why they weren't even in the most recent game, as playable characters anyway. But what would you hope for the next movie?
Well, as I said, I went in this movie blind as a bat.
Please.
And yeah, I have to say this movie was fully enjoyable. You know, the sets, the characters, the actors all did a fantastic job. For the third one, I would like to see obviously a lot more characters, bigger sets, definitely obviously bigger budget if Warner Brothers will be, well, it's Warner Brothers. I mean, what can you say about Warner Brothers other than sometimes they can be a bit...
Well, actually, funnily enough, they're in probably the weirdest position they've ever been in right now, because that whole Paramount thing.
Yeah, but
that's still up in the air at the moment. We don't know what's going on with that.
That's true, but yeah, hopefully the third one, they have a bigger budget so they can do a lot more stuff, have more actors, more characters, more references, and maybe try to rely more on the humour of this film as opposed to the first one where it was relying too much on pulp culture references.
I thought it was.
And at least this way, if the humour isn't forced and it's good humour, then, you know, I'd say, you know, do what's best for the Mortal Kombat franchise, you know, bring a lot of characters in that people love, and if you've got to bring in a couple of people that may not like so much, you know, you can make them better, improve them, and if you want to do some changes, like, what's his face with the teeth?
Oh, Baraka.
Yeah, if you want to do more changes in a good way like him, by all means go for it, because I think he was the best character change in this movie, and... yeah, overall, I give this movie a 9 out of 10. I definitely recommend it if you guys haven't seen it already. And especially if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, I think you'll enjoy this film. So, yeah, top notch, 9 out of 10. I can't wait to see the third one. Hopefully that will be not too long from now.
Hopefully it won't be another 5 years. I mean, I feel like...
Well, I guess it all depends on everyone's schedule.
Yeah, I mean, I will always say you can't rush art, but I feel like... when you have
Toy Story 2 reference.
Exactly. I literally said that in my video as well. But I feel like with movies like this, when you tease sequels, you can't leave these things dangling forever. The actors might be busy with other things. They might age out of the roles too much. Because that was, I mean, nothing against the actor. Like I think he's really famous in Japanese Hollywood, or not Japanese Hollywood. I don't know what it's called in Japan, but he's a very famous Japanese actor, the guy who played Scorpion. When I saw he was casted for the first movie, I was like, but the guy's 60 years old. Like, how's he going to play the role long term? But I mean, he's clearly, he's proven me wrong so far. So nothing against him. Maybe if he's still, some actors are still fit even in their old age. So I guess maybe he is.
Well, there was always that talk on the internet that a lot of people in Japan who are old but they're fit as heck.
Yeah.
You know, there's some kind of secret that they don't tell you, where they keep it to themselves
it's
personally.
A secret.
Exactly. Yeah. Shut up. And maybe he uses some kind of secret spiritual training that keeps him fit, keeps his mind healthy,
and keeps his body not frail, basically.
Yeah, and maybe that's why he can fulfill roles like this and not have to worry about any fatal accidents or fatal fatalities, shall I say.
Oh god, we don't want any real ones.
No.
Yeah. Okay. In terms of what I want from the movie, well, for starters, the obvious one, Sub-Zero, Kuai Liang needs to be in the next movie. The fact that he wasn't in this one is kind of criminal, but Bihan's I know he's not. I know Kuai Liang is Scorpion in the games now, but I'm going to be brutally honest. Fuck that. Okay.
You have to censor that.
Yes. Well, that's why I said it slowly. Yeah, I'm being brutally honest. Making Kuai Liang Scorpion and getting rid of Hanzo Hasashi was the dumbest thing they've ever done, and that's one of the reasons why I still haven't played MK1. I hate it. I hate it so much. But I'm not going to think of who I would cast because most of the actors I don't know, so I'm fine. If they can get lesser known actors so they don't bloat the budget, then I'm fine with that, because personally, actors don't need to be paid hundreds of millions of dollars for a movie anyway. The only actors I do know are, of course, Johnny Cage, Carl Urban. He's been in loads of things. I know Jade's actor. I know Scorpion. Scorpion has been in some things I've seen. Like, he was actually the guy in Avengers Endgame that Hawkeye fought when he was Ronin. And I think Bihan Sub-Zero's actor was in Fast and Furious 6, I believe.
Oh wow, that's long ago.
I know, it was a long
forgot
time
about
ago.
that.
Yeah, he was the guy. Who else? Oh, Jax. I know his actor. He was in a lot of TV shows. He was in the Supergirl show, and he was in True Blood.
Well, that's a show that I need to see.
It got cancelled. You don't need to bother. It was part of a DC Arrowverse universe, but one by one they got cancelled, and they all dipped in quality. So I wouldn't bother. I stopped after Crisis, and I'm glad I did because the Flash kept going, and apparently it kept getting worse. But off subject again. What I would want, I don't know who I would want for the villain to be, either Shinnok or the Deadly Alliance, so Quan Chi and Shang Tsung. I guess them because they've been introduced now and they still haven't done anything. So save Shinnok for later on or something. In terms of characters, I don't know what they're gonna do about Melina. That's the thing, because she was always Kitana's sister, but they just completely ignored that in this universe. So I don't remember if she was actually referred to as Melina in the first movie, because I know she clearly is meant to be. She has the size, she has the teeth.
And we know how much people love her.
Yeah, she's literally like arguably the most popular female character in the series. Arguably, I think. But so they'd obviously have to bring her back at some point. How they would do it, I don't know, because she didn't really have a character. Personally, if you want my honest opinion, I would just pretend that was just a random. Same goes for like Nitara if you want to use her again. Don't cast Megan Fox this time though, for the love of God. But yeah, just bring Melina back. Have her be a clone or something, or maybe not even a clone of Kitana. Just say like that Melina. There's like a whole pit of Melina clones, and maybe just do that, and then just make her more crazy, because she wasn't really Melina-ing in the first movie. So have the teeth, exaggerate the teeth a bit more. Maybe polish them a little bit. I get it. This again, CGI is necessary, but I think it also stuck out in motion. And I think maybe dial back the amount of teeth you need. Like Baraka doesn't need so many. Like, I'd rather he have like the sharp teeth he has in the games rather than like 1,000 small teeth spread across his entire mouth. That's what I would do personally. And the plot. I don't think we need another tournament. I mean, Earthrealm's safe now, so. Let's just say, okay, they're going to the Netherrealm. Quan Chi's going with them, but maybe Shang Tsung follows. And so, yeah, maybe the dead are all there. So maybe all the characters that have died are there. So Kung Lao and Liu Kang are there. Jax is there. Maybe Melina's there too. But revamp her character a little bit. Actually, make her act like Melina. You can bring the actress back. Nothing against her. So, and I guess maybe Cabal as well. I mean, I don't know. He's whatever. He's fast, I guess, but he's not really. He's probably the most inconsistent character of all, personally, because I feel like he changes every single game. But yeah, and I'd like to see Raiden actually fight this time. I thought he was going to fight Shang Tsung when he woke up, but I thought he was going to do his iconic like charge, but he didn't do it.
I read somewhere the reason why he keeps changing almost every time is because they don't know what to do with him.
Oh, Cabal, yeah. Well, it's because in his first game he fought on the good guy's side, but he was also a former Black Dragon, which is what Kano is. But then I think in Deception they leaned more into him being a Black Dragon, and so he was evil again. But then in MK9, the reboot, he was a cop alongside Stryker, so he was a good guy. Then he died.
It sounds like a huge mess.
And then he was a Revenant, but then he was a Revenant in MK11. He was playable, but also non-Revenant Cabal was evil, because this one was part of Black Dragon before he turned good. I don't know. Again, that just shows it's a mess. Because
I'm crossing over to the dark side.
What else? Other characters. Who should they bring? So yeah, Kuai Liang. That is a must. I'm holding you to that. Please, for the love of God, bring him in and make him Sub-Zero. All right, he is my man. He is my favorite character. So bring him in. I'm not sure what you would use him for. Like maybe, I mean, whether he'll still be Bihan's brother is a different question, because you think he'd have been alluded to in this movie if that's the case. But maybe Noob Saibot's not really dead, so they'll bring him back. Maybe he'll manipulate him into trying to kill Scorpion, but then maybe he'll fight Scorpion. He won't kill him, and then and then maybe he'll be a good guy. Yeah, because I don't know. There's a lot of things that have been kind of left in the dust. Maybe they could still introduce them, like the Lin Kuei, like because they had the Shirai Ryu Scorpion's clan, but I don't think Sub-Zero's clan, the Lin Kuei, was mentioned. So characters like Smoke, Cyrax, Sector. Now this is a very massive hot button because I know this was controversial. Well, I wouldn't mind if I don't mind either way if they do male or female, because the new game had gender swapped them to female in MK1, Sector and Cyrax, but make them robots, make them cyborgs, don't give them Iron Man armor. I hate that. That's literally what they do. They do that, you know, that perspective of Tony's face all the time? Where they do that in MK1. So
that's lame.
Yeah, they're trying so hard to be Marvel, it's ridiculous in the games.
Yeah, stop copying Marvel, do your own thing.
Especially since Marvel's kind of washed right now anyway, but that's a separate conversation. So, yeah, so like, I think bottom line is, maybe have the characters, I like it when characters have one-to-one as well, so try and make the scenes more interesting when they're not fighting, because they can be a little boring at times. That's why I enjoy the cutscenes of the games, because I enjoy like Johnny and Sonya talking, Scorpion and Sub-Zero talking. I even enjoy like Smoke, basically any of it really, like Kitana and Liu Kang, and like they don't have to, but I would like it if they hint towards Kitana and Liu Kang's like relationship. Don't force it, but because like Kitana was well realized in this game, but Liu Kang still has yet to be fleshed out. So I feel like give him more, other than him and Kung Lao being brothers. But then we don't really see much of that anyway. And what else?
I would agree on that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but definitely do Johnny and Sonya's relationship. I think that's integral because I like Sonya, but she's not really got a lot going on outside of being special forces and being good friends with Jax, I guess. But so I think, plus, you know, I like Cassie, so I'd like her to be in this movies. I don't know how they would do it, because they'd have to do it, you know, like I'm not going to wait around 20 years to see, oh, finally Mortal Kombat 7 is out and Cassie Cage is now in the movie.
Yeah, I do see what you mean. Like, I'd love to see that as well, actually.
Yeah.
But like you say, there's got to be a way they can do it where it doesn't feel rushed.
And don't do multiverse, for the love of God. Don't do multiverse.
I think Raiden would be pretty pissed.
Well, MK1 did that, and I'm like, and apparently it was like thrown in at the end. I'm like, get out of here. Well, like I've seen that cutscene. Because Cassie, like Johnny and Sonya aren't a thing in the new game. Yeah. There's a part where I think was meant to be Cassie, Jackie, Takeda, and Kung Jin, like the kids from the MKX. There's a part where Johnny fights them and murders them, and I think Kitana killed Cassie. I'm like, that's your daughter, but I know in this universe you didn't have her, but that's clearly obviously what they were going for, because like who else would that have been?
Or maybe they could tease perhaps at the end of the movie, or maybe a post-credits scene of the third one. Maybe they don't need to do time skips, but I hope that they do not do that. And
do not do multiverse, none of that.
So maybe they could like tease towards the end of the film, or maybe, well, like you say, it's hard to really say really, because obviously we're not directors, we're not writers, but I think there is a way you could handle it and not make it so it's forced or rushed.
Yeah, like I thought about, like I think that's why it's hard for me to be earnest with these movies, because I've really, really, really wanted to make my own Mortal Kombat movies. Like, I've actually been so committed to that idea for the longest time. It's never going to happen, especially nowadays. Hollywood is filled with Nepo babies. But, I mean, I'll save that for a separate subject if people wanted to hear it. I'd love to discuss all the things I would have done.
Yeah.
But basically, how I would have done it was, because I'm pretty sure in-universe, I don't know if it's established here, but in universe, Edenians, I think they say they live longer, so like they can be 1,000 years old and still look young, basically. Whereas I don't think they did that here. But I would have basically done it where, like, try to keep the long story short, I would have done it where time works differently between realms, and so if you want to travel between realms, you need to be pinpoint accurate. Otherwise, if you're not careful, you could wind up in the wrong time.
Would that be your plot for your Mortal Kombat film?
It'd be one of them.
Yeah.
Like, basically, like, not to get too in depth. Basically, if you want to, I would have had to say, like, Johnny and Sonya. I'll just say it really quickly and then get back to it another time. Johnny and Sonya went to this world. Shinnok got free. Johnny died, and Cassie was already born, but she's like 5 years old when there. But then Johnny's dead. Sonya tries to get back, but she gets left behind, and so like Shinnok has like hell is frozen over on Earth. Like Shinnok has won, and so like Cassie just grows up in hell basically, and by the time Sonya gets back there, she hasn't aged, but Cassie is like 25 or something like that.
Well, it sounds like a good plot on paper. You know, if this film ever did happen, mate, I'd be on board to help you make it.
Well, maybe I can do a fan film. Who knows? Maybe it can be animated. I just wish I could draw, but whatever.
There's always people we can hire. I know that they obviously they don't come cheap, but if we got a good animator or two, we could probably pay them, and we can dub over it with our voices.
Yeah, no, plenty of ideas down the line, but we can make that a podcast discussion or something like that.
Yeah, I'd be down.
I think we could do more of these at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But was there something else I was going to say? Was there anyone else I'd like to? So like, I think have Smoke be in the next movie, but have him be human, have him be friends with Kuai Liang, Sub-Zero. Maybe he find out, oh, Scorpion killed your brother Bihan. I'm like, where is he? And then they go track them down to the Netherrealm. Smoke dies and then later becomes cyborg like in the games, so I think the main things you want to do is you want to bring Melina back, make her more Melina-ish, bring in Kuai Liang, give Shang Tsung and Quan Chi something to do, have Raiden actually fight for once. I would like to see him fight. He's too iconic to not fight.
I was actually surprised he didn't fight at all in this film.
Yeah, he doesn't fight in either of the movies. I don't think he's fought. I think the worst movie, MK Annihilation, is the only movie where he's actually done some fighting. It's not good because the movie is terrible, but I think that's the only time Raiden's actually on the front lines fighting.
Well, I guess that would be another film we won in the third one. Have Raiden actually fight.
Have Raiden fight. Have Kuai Liang be in it. Bring Melina back and make her more like Melina. Have Smoke be in it, and the cyborgs. I don't mind. I honestly don't mind which gender you do. Genuinely don't mind, but don't make it Iron Man armor. Make them cyborgs. I was going to say this as well before I forget. As much as a lame character Cole Young was, like, we don't care for OCs. Like, at least when they're the main characters. Maybe later down the line, I'd be forgiving to OCs, but not right now. But I feel bad for Louis Tan, the actor, so bring him back and have him play an actual character. A lot of people say he should play Kenshi. I don't know if he has... apparently he has Indonesian roots or whatever race Kenshi's meant to be, or Chinese or something. So if he can fit the role for Kenshi, have him be Kenshi, and just don't even acknowledge that, like, hey, you look familiar. Just don't acknowledge it. Just don't do the whole thing of like, hey, I've seen you before, or don't even try to canonize it. Like, Cole Young's spirit was transported into this random blind swordsman with his spirit sword. I'm like, just have it be the same actor, okay? You don't need to. Not everything needs to have a real world explanation. But those are my main things. And I guess, okay. I'm sorry I keep repeating myself, but I feel like, okay. So if you can think of maybe 10 characters you want to see in the next movie that haven't been introduced yet, who do you want to see?
Oh, there's a lot of characters I want to see.
Yeah.
From the top of my head, I can't think of the names, but I know what they look like and who they are. I'm trying to think, what could be a good villain for the third one?
I think Shang Tsung and Quan Chi being the Deadly Alliance should be the villains, but they can't just be the villains on their own. They need goons.
Yeah.
So I guess Dramin was a character they could use, maybe. I don't really know anything about him, but I know he was a thing. The Collector from MK11, wouldn't mind. I mean, but make him more interesting. Personally, I would have written him like the Merchant from Resident Evil, but that's just me. So yeah, I've said Sub-Zero. and well, Melina was in the first movie, but she was barely Melina, so I'll still say bring her back. So Sub-Zero, Melina, Smoke.
Oh, I know. What about Chameleon?
Chameleon, I wouldn't be against her. Like the female version, preferably. The one.
Hey, Chameleon was ours. We thought of that.
Yeah, I'm surprised you knew that one.
He's actually a forgotten character.
Yeah, there's two versions. Like there's female and there's male. But like the problem.
Well, I don't care which gender they do.
Problem is the idea with Chameleon is that they copy the ninja the ninja sprites. So like female Chameleon is all of Jade, Katana and Melina into one, and they switch colors, and male chameleons like Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Reptile, Ermac, Rain, Noob Saibot, Smoke, so all of that, and he switches colors, and I'm like, I don't know how you translate that, but maybe they'll think of something. Speaking of which, again, Reptile was technically in the first movie, but he was literally just a giant lizard, and I don't think they call... I mean, Reptile's not a complicated name anyway, but MK1 rebooted him for the better, if you ask me, so bring him back. And actually, don't even just say, like, he was resurrected. Just pretend that was a random Zaterran and be like, I don't remember what his real name is, but I just say, I am the real Reptile, and I have a human form and a lizard form. Like, so yeah, bring Reptile. I guess Ermac, if they can. Ermac, they would have to nerf him, because he's way too OP on paper. Sorry.
That's alright.
So I don't know how they would do Ermac without pissing people off, because he's meant to be really, really, really overpowered, but then it's a question, why doesn't he just one-shot everyone in a second? So I think they'd have to take some liberties with Ermac if they add him into the game. Maybe they could do what MK1 did and have him be King Jared's spirit.
There is another character that comes to mind. I think his name is Onaga. Sorry.
They'd have to save him for later, I think, because I'd say save him for the 5th movie.
Well, if they want to do more than these 3 movies, if it does well.
Yeah, we'll see how they go. If they do well, because I think they're a modest success. Like they're not massive hits, but I think they're making enough money to warrant sequels, I guess. I think we said everyone, so...
Yeah, I mean, we're probably asking for a lot for the 3rd film, but obviously this is just what we'd like to see. Obviously we're not going to see everyone. They might surprise us with a lot of characters and cameos, but obviously it's a matter of what they decide to do next. Like you say, hopefully not another tournament, because Earth is now protected, it's now done, it's safe.
Yeah.
So
unless the tournament stakes are like, if you defeat us, we will free your friends or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. So as the plot thickens, no pun intended, I'm curious what they're going to do with next. But obviously, with more characters, then hopefully that must mean a bigger, stronger budget.
Yeah, I'd say so, and definitely have the characters interact more. Like have them try to showcase a bit more chemistry with each other. I think Johnny and Sonya had a little bit, but it was very short-lived. But maybe showcase more with the rest, and also this one. I think this one's a big one. Make the costumes a bit more like we saw a trailer for Street Fighter, and the comparison is actually completely unmatched. Like the Street Fighter movie is embracing the absurdity, and the costumes are literally 1-to-1 from the games. So I'm like, can you please do something like that, please? Because I actually forgot to mention this. Liu Kang was kind of dressed like Ryu from Street Fighter in the finale. Like he had a white gi with a red belt. I'm like, why is he dressed like Ryu? He's supposed to be shirtless. Like the point of Liu Kang is that he's a Bruce Lee reference. But so please make the costumes a bit closer to some parts of the game. I'm not asking for bikinis, don't worry. I'm not asking for them for all the females to, or not even just the females, all the men too. I'm not asking for them all to take their shirts off. Yeah, but I'm just asking for something closer to how it looks in the games.
Yeah, a bit more accuracy, and also make the colours of some of the characters' costumes a lot more brighter.
Yeah, make the colours more clearer, and give Sonya her actual prime colours again. Why? I don't know why. Like the original movie did this too. Like giving her a black tank top is boring. All right, give her her actual style. If not, give her some military-looking clothes. Like, give us something. A black tank top is boring.
I mean, I know technically it was a different colour, talk about another franchise, but she kind of gave me Tomb Raider vibes.
Yeah.
Even though that was obviously a grey top, not a black one.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, actually, in Angelina Jolie's films, it was black. So
Yeah.
I guess there you go. Yeah, and what else? I think that is everything because
I think I've covered everything that I
yeah,
want.
there is one more thing I do want to say, but I feel like I've steered away so much. Shall I just quickly say it?
Say whatever on your mind, mate.
I'll think. I mean, this is a new idea. We can structure these things better down the line if we do another one.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed is I don't know if the tournament makes them less susceptible to damage because I know they're not because like even like normal humans like Johnny or Sonya, they get slammed into like really hard brick walls and they're absolutely fine. So I'm just wondering, that was a little distracting, like the way Shao Kahn like kicked Sonya and she went flying into the wall. I think she hit her face. She did. Yeah, the fact she was completely fine, like not even a scratch after that, is a little distracting. So I'm like, wait, so how does that work? Like, if it's just one of those things where it's like, oh, everyone has thicker. I'll just say like everyone has thicker skin when they're fighting in the tournament or something.
But they still feel the impact. Though.
Yeah, it still hurts, and they can still get stabbed, but that losing blood doesn't make them weaker as easily. Let's put it that way. So like that's all I'm saying. Like I don't know. Again, that's a nitpick. It's not the end of the world. But it was just something I noticed. So I'd like for fights to feel like the X-rays basically. Like hit them really hard and it hurts. You don't have to actually crack their skulls, but make it feel like it hurts. Like for example, if Ermac shows up and he slams someone into the ground, like uses telekinesis to slam someone, then actually have some impact and then have the character scream in agony like it really hurt.
Yeah, because that was always a big thing in the games. They scream a lot. Exactly.
So just do something like that basically. Have the fights feel more impact. Maybe have the characters look tired after fighting, and maybe some of the fights make them a bit longer. I think some of them were a bit too short. And also I think just make it feel really I want the fights to be really challenging as well. I think because the fights were too short, they can not easy, but I feel like they should feel harder. Basically, like Shao Kahn's the big final boss, so I want him to feel like a big challenge. So work with what you have. Like if you get a bigger budget, maybe work it into more longer fight scenes. Basically, like I can live with wonky CGI if it means longer fights. I'll take that.
Yeah, I'll take that too.
So that's my final thoughts, really. So, long story short, Mortal Kombat 2, pretty good movie, better than the first one. Arguably the best live-action movie, but tastes may vary on that.
Yeah, but yeah, I'd highly recommend it if you are a fan of the games. I think you'll love this movie. Definitely go see it if you haven't already.
Yeah, and I think they did most of the characters. I think all the characters were done justice in this movie compared to the first movie, but most of them were treated like fodder. Yeah. So this one, definitely a step up, step in the right direction. Simon McCoy, whatever his name is, the director. So, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I think he clearly took criticism to heart, and he's looking to improve. So I commend that. So I'm hoping he'll do the same for this one going forward. And hopefully, whatever happens with the Warner Brothers Paramount merger won't affect these movies or anything down the line, really. Actually, hopefully it doesn't happen because Paramount is not very nice. But yeah, hopefully it won't take 5 years. I mean, hopefully they've got a story in mind. They just need to finish a script and then get things rolling, basically. And so I look forward to what they do next. So
do I.
Yeah, so other than that, we might do one of these again for another movie we see. If you want to see Street Fighter, I'd gladly go watch that. That looks really fun.
Yeah, it does actually, yeah.
Yeah, so who knows? We might see you back here for that, and we might even compare them to see how they do it, because when you watch the trailers back to back, you can really tell the difference. But then Street Fighter's always been more over the top anyway. Anyway, that's all from me. My name is Welshie.
And my name is SpicyWolf.
We will see you soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Ciao.